Hello.
Hello, how are
Are you
you?
okay? Oh, bless you. I bet you'd be glad when today
I
was
haven't left
today.
my desk since
Oh,
breakfast.
oh no.
Yeah, I'm going to nip off in a minute once I've
Yeah,
got you going to make
yeah.
myself a drink.
Bless you. Get yourself a drink and something to eat.
Right,
Okay.
so I've made you a co-host.
Fab, thank you.
There's lots of people in the waiting room, but do you
Ooh.
want to screen share first or do you want to let them in? How do you want to do it?
I'll set it first because otherwise I'll get myself in a tizwaz. You know when I do my screen share, will it do a side by side automatically? So I think we're there or thereabouts now. So there's 22 of you, so thanks for joining us. And my name is Jo Ferreday. I'm Managing Director of Sheeredge, and Sheeredge is a multi-service events agency. So why am I talking about humanising the digital experience? Well, even though Sheeredge services predominantly are in relation to in-person events, we really have had to embrace the tech in order to support our clients while larger scale events can't take place in the physical sense. So we're all living in a world which is really reliant on technology, especially virtual communication. We're in the midst, obviously, of this great, brilliant virtual expo today. So congratulations to Sheila, Kate, and all the team that have put this together. But Zoom or any of the other platforms do create a bit of a, not a problem, but we do have to be mindful that Zoom fatigue is a thing, and we need to increase the sense of we're all working from home, lots of Zoom chats, we're doing lots of phone calls, but that's even before we've got to get the work done. So how on earth do we differentiate ourselves and, more importantly, keep our audience engaged? So before we sort of move on to the rest of the presentation, I'd like you to just use one word that makes you feel about virtual. What does virtual make you feel? So if you can be brave and pop it in the chat for me, I'd really be grateful. Don't be shy. We definitely need more than two. Good, they're coming in thick and fast now. Brilliant. I love it. There's actually quite a lot of positivity in here, and that's really good. So while we wait for the responses, let's break the ice a little bit. Are people able to take themselves off mute, Kate? Do you know?
Yeah.
Brilliant. If they can take themselves off mute, and if we just go round the people that are on here, you just introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about what you wanted to get out of this session, that would be great. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm sorry I'm eating, Jo, but it's...
Oh, don't be sorry.
I've been on it all day watching it and thought,
yeah, you absolutely need that sugar rush. You don't you worry.
No lunch yet. It's been such an exciting day. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. So, I mean, my name's Anne Brebner, and I've got a domestic and commercial cleaning business. Been doing cleaning for 17 years, got a fabulous team. I'm now coaching and mentoring and showing other people how to set up their own commercial cleaning business. So during the lockdown, that's been an incredible time for me to spend doing just that, and digitally has come in very handy for me. So I'm interested to find out more about the digital experience, how you perceive it, how others perceive it, because we've been forced into this position, what we're in now. And actually, it's been a very positive experience, but you know, I mean, there's obviously stuff going on and I can't discount that, but it's been a positive experience. So looking forward to the future. So yeah, thank you.
Great. No, that's fine. John has raised his hand. So
okay, so for me, I'm John Whitbread, and I've took the opportunity of being virtual. I've got a string of networking events that are doing really well, but the thing that I'm very conscious of is, and I've noticed I do it myself, starting to really lean more on being more virtual, more and more and more, because it's so much more efficient. So before, when you'd have a cup of coffee, meet someone, your whole morning could be gone, and now I strip it back been really hard on myself to, I don't really need to do that. Could it be a Zoom? Could it be a Zoom? But also, that I think that has side effects, that we don't have that interaction, and the idea of trying to humanise the experience as much as possible. That's why I'm here, really, because I'm using it too much, I think, and to try and get a bit more interaction that is more humanised, the better.
Yes, no, that's great. Thanks for that, John. I can see Michael's come off mute. Do you want to go next, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Basically, I'm a singer-songwriter, performer. I've done like virtual events. Also do a bit of like marketing and sales for a streetwear brand as well. But yeah, like I'm just very interested to see how like you can incorporate everything like virtually to create that connection with other people.
Yeah, brilliant. And I know that Myri has raised her hand as well. We will probably have to limit it to Myri because I want to get on to the rest of the presentation. But yeah, Myri, do you want to go next?
Yeah, it was just to sort of say I'm a coach, team performance coach, but I do a lot of work over in the virtual world, and pretty much like John was saying, it is so efficient, it's so time efficient. But I have been lucky enough to get back in the room with a few groups and teams, and I didn't really quite realise what I was missing until I got back in the room. And so I'm excited to see what what options you've explored and what you've found out. Really
brilliant. That's lovely. Thanks, Myri. So thanks for popping all your words in the chat. I'm really happy. So we've got excited, free, comfortable, possibilities, intrigued, connected, efficient, flexible, isolated, which is true. We are all in, separate from each other. So it's how do we connect? Remote. So there's lots of words that have come from that. So thank you so much for participating in that part. So who am I, and why is it important to know who I am? I've introduced myself. I'm Jo. I've got almost 2 decades worth of experience of events and hospitality experience, but I am also a wife. I'm a mother, I'm a friend, I'm a colleague. I'm much more than just one person. And for those who don't know me well, I thought I would share a little bit about me, because our personal brand is actually more important than you think it is. When you buy from a brand, what key things do you look for? I know when I'm buying, I look to be, confident that my thoughts and needs are taken into account. So a personal touch is very important. And you'll note during this year, especially, major brands have made their campaigns about individuals and their personal needs. This morning I shared a brilliant Oprah Winfrey short film. Now it's called 5 Minutes, and it's on my LinkedIn page, and I'll share my LinkedIn details. The file is too large to share on here, but her message was simple. And we must think about our purpose and what we want to achieve in our lives and what fulfills us as individuals. And that will in turn mean we can serve our clients best. Sheeredge was set up 4.5 years ago, and it was born out of the passion that I have for the hospitality and events industry. And we've been supporting our clients, throughout this time with live events over the last 4.5 years. But my experience in both sectors, as I say, run over almost 2 decades. And unfortunately, due to the pandemic, many of our clients have had to postpone or cancel a lot of their events. And that's why virtual is so important, because we need to embrace technology in order to fulfill and make sure that people are interacting and understanding a little bit more about what virtual has to offer. So what makes a good interaction? What's important for us to interact with each other online? Emotions play a massive part in this. However you want to portray your message, however you want to communicate, emotions have an everlasting effect. How people make you feel, it lasts a lot longer than something that's just said or just text out there. It's a feeling, it's the essence of that feeling. So think about that when you are communicating in whatever way, shape or form you do. what are you hoping to achieve from your virtual communication? It's going to be different for all of you. So are you looking to encourage internal comms and engagement? We are working with a client at the moment, and they're putting on a quiz tournament for the next 9 weeks because they're retail store managers are going through a pretty rough time, and they're working long hours. It's not a great situation, and they just really want to lighten it, and they want their teams to know they're thinking of them. You could be looking to promote your brand and your business, and you could be using the virtual communication piece to do that. Or you could be looking to share your expertise to a wider audience by live chats. There's a whole range of ways that you can do that. So how you communicate your expertise to a wider audience obviously is up to you, but there are lots of ways to do that. You could be looking to just entertain your teams or clients. We have a range of entertainment pieces, and yes, virtual entertainment is a thing. I didn't think it was. I'm a live events expert. I thought that this would just be a bit silly, but actually I think there are some really great options out there. So again, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to be annoying in these sessions to keep you on your feet. What things do you think are the most prominent ways to keep your audience engaged? If you can pop them in the chat for me. I have got a graph for some evidential proof, but I just wondered if you thought of any ways that you would keep your audience engaged. Some really great suggestions. So polls, live videos, social media posts, online classes, live streams, inspiring content, infographics. Keep surprising them, be creative, use all emotions and senses. They're all fabulous. So this particular exercise was done by Markletic Event Research, and this was in May, so it could well have changed. Don't blame me if it's slightly different now. But basically, polling is one of the biggest ways, but you don't have to always use polls. Like today, we're using the chat, and that's really great to be able to do so. And it's important so people do feel involved and interacted in your session, and making sure that, shorter presentations, bit of gamification if you can, if you've got a number of speakers. So, what Sheila and her team have done today has given you a range of options, as well as the expo, which is, very well thought out. So in terms of our hospitality and events industry, many businesses are having to adapt quickly to support clients. The needs are changing. You can have smaller meetings, but the larger meetings you can't. So clients are moving many of their events online because the larger scale events, start date is an uncertainty at the moment. But that's where the complexity starts, because there are so many platforms out there, and there's not enough time to research them all, or even understand whether each of them meet your specific needs. So rather than be the agency that partners with just one platform, Sheeredge, basically, we've always done this. We always look to fulfill our service levels. So we give clients a range of options that are most suited to their brief, and we look and we fulfill that requirement. But to give you a flavour of how you can use virtual events to your advantage, we hosted a virtual event showcase a couple of weeks back, and we wanted to showcase one of the partner platforms that we work with, along with having a fabulous keynote speaker. We had a panel chat, and we also had 3 entertainment sessions, and that was only, over a 4-hour period. Shorten it up, and this is a bit of a snapshot of all of it, really. So it gives you a bit of a flavour as to the options. We had a virtual mind reader who was amazing, Matt Daniel Baker. We had Song Division that did some music. They call it their happy hour. We even had someone live scribing, so that was sent out to all of the attendees post-event. So it's a little memento of a couple of the sessions that went on. We had an amazing keynote from Penny Power OBE, and we had a brilliant, you know, panel chat as well. So it was a really great event. And that's just to show you what the live scribe looked like. So that was captured really nicely. And, you know, as I say, virtual event support is where we're at the moment. It's important to us that our clients feel supported, that they have their headaches removed. Searching, you know, is a time consuming thing, and it's something that people don't have time on their side because they want to get on with the work that they need to get done. So it's important for our clients to feel supported, that they've got that level of support. I mean, literally, that's it. That's all there is to say. It's important to make sure that you keep interacting, that you keep that human element, that you keep the essence of who you are. Even if you're just talking virtually online, there are ways to have that interaction. I wish I'd had longer. I could, you know, put on a bit of an entertainment piece as well, but we can easily talk you through those options and arrange demos if needed. So, you know, if that sounds like an ideal working collaboration, we'd love to speak to you further, but I really would love to hear if you want to come off mute, or if you want to raise a hand if anyone has any questions. I'd love to, you know, answer them for you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hiya. Sorry, seems as everybody else has been uber polite, I thought I'd hop in there and be not quite so polite. So, hiya. I suppose mine is very specific. I do apologise.
No, not at all.
At the moment, I'm so my business is has all been online because we're meant to be launching over the summer. It's a zero waste shop, so a physical zero waste shop, but certain things have gotten in the way. So a lot of it has been online and sort of trying to keep people engaged with, you know, zero waste, how to reduce waste, how to maybe grow your own and things like that all kind of like come within it. But at the moment I'm crowdfunding, which is a very different beast, because obviously you're kind of putting your cap in your hand and going, can you please pledge, can you please you know, buy our rewards and stuff like that. Would there be sort of any tips with that sort of thing, where people are obviously lovely and will share posts, but getting past that is obviously quite tricky, because there's so much noise.
Yeah, were you thinking in the social media essence of that, or?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, within social media.
No, that's fine. I would say again, it's the emotive thing. So I would probably say to you, if you were looking at maybe using a powerful video about, you know, the nature of what you're doing, like the impacts, you know, in some ways the negative impact might actually have more of an effect on people.
Yeah.
I would say go for that, because, you know, whenever I use emotive posts when I'm doing, you know, social media, it always, you know, it goes ballistic and it goes crazy. But also think about the hashtags that you're using for it. That's what I would say for that. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you very much.
No, that's okay. Miley? You're on mute. Oh, can I unmute you?
No, my hand was up from before, sorry.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's okay. Steve?
Oh, hi, Joe.
Yeah, hiya.
With my exhibition, I'm from the commercial heating industry, and my exhibition is about the commercial heating industry and very, very niche market. Yeah. And that they are very hands-on, and they want to feel the product and they want to sort of see the product in the flesh.
Yeah.
Now, to turn that into a virtual event, I think it's going to be quite tricky to sort of keep that essence of touching the actual product itself. But do you feel that whilst you may lose the people that will only want the physical aspect of it, you're going to gain a bigger pool of people who wouldn't attend an in-person event anyway? So you've probably got a bigger pool of people to actually attack, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there's some brilliant rendering tools that, you know, I know obviously they want to do the physical demo, but if you've got like a 3D model type scenario that they can show as like a video, or do people physically have to, like, I'm obviously not from the industry, so I don't but yeah, I think in essence, yes, you would have a bigger pool of people. You've got less chance of there being a restriction in terms of how many people you can allow in a hall. So, you know, that's a positive. But I think that there might be ways that you can do the demos visually, and then if people want to know more, then they can make further arrangements, is what I think. I think that would be, you know, obviously it depends on the technological capabilities of the platform you're using as well. Of course, that you know, that has to come into it, but there are lots of ways that things can be done now online. So I wouldn't rule it doing that out at all.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe sort of going on site and doing a pre-video demonstration of the product. Yeah. So they've got me in one of their videos, so they still feel part of the actual show, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, have a YouTube channel, you know, add as many, you know, different visuals and videos, because I think that it's the human element, like, you know, as I say, you know, the human element and interaction is essential, because otherwise people just won't feel they're participating in anything really. So that's really important, I feel.
Cool.
Hopefully that helped. Simon?
Just to follow up on that, Steve, just to give you a bit of input from one of my friends runs a photo booth company, and obviously no events are happening, no weddings are happening, so they were at a bit of a pickle of how do they sell a photo booth when no events are happening. And what they did is they set up a sort of their own mini wedding show demonstrating the products they do. So they literally set up 3 photo booths in their house. They had one of them dressing up, one of them taking the photos, and it was a very sort of immersive experience for everybody. You know, it's just a bit of an idea there of something that you could do, just do your live product demo. People could come in and chat and ask questions while you're going through it. They could actually show them the physical elements of that. So again, just a bit of an input to just a bit of an idea of what else you could do with it. And Joe, I'd love to have a chat a bit more about sort of interactive and immersive experiences. We've been running them for the last 6 months. We've been really sort of focusing on that human engagement, breaking down the barriers, really focusing on what we can do to sort of bring people on, involve people, surprise them, delight them, throw things at them they're not expecting. So I'd love to have a chat after this as well. And
absolutely, you know,
see how we can help each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just popped all my details in chat because I realised I hadn't done that earlier. So anyone else? Oh, Catherine, hello.
Hello.
Okay? Thanks for your lovely recommendation there in the chat. That's really
Oh,
fun.
you're very welcome. It's all true. It's all true. I want to thank you for showing a different way of doing events, because I'm always looking for something different with Ignite, because it's too easy to slip into the speaker after speaker after speaker, even though PowerPoint's banned and all of that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't mind having a conversation with you about some different things that I could do with Ignite for future events that I've got planned for next year, if that's okay.
Yeah,
because
no, absolutely, you'd love to. I mean,
it's always got to be different.
Absolutely, and I think it's a forever changing piece as well, isn't it? It's not one answer for everyone. It's different answers for all. So it's looking at what options work best for you and what gets your message out there the best way. So
very much so, and keeps people interactive and interested as well, so they'll come back to another Ignite event and so on and so forth.
Absolutely, yeah, it's really important. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no problem. Love to have a chat with you about that. No problem.
Thank you very much. Speak to you soon, I hope.
Speak to you. Anyone else got anything they want to add or say, or Sheila, hello.
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 I didn't want to take everybody's time. I'm being asked quite a lot about hybrid events because obviously, you know, I'm known for my exhibitions.
Yes.
And as you also know, I bought Leicester Business Expo 2 weeks before lockdown. Inspired. So obviously, I want to get face-to-face back on the agenda, but safely.
Yes.
I want to do it when everybody's ready. But I think what we've done today, I think there is room now to bring the two together.
Yeah.
For tell me about a hybrid event. What would that involve?
So you would probably lessen the amount of footfall, and you would probably lessen the amount of people, exhibitors maybe you do a mix. Maybe you do some exhibitors that want to be virtual only.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and some that want to be face to face, because let's not forget there's a whole range of different people feeling different things about this whole situation. Some are feeling more confident than others, and it's fine for all of those feelings to so it's just about understanding the audience, asking all those questions. You know, would you prefer to keep your virtual stand? That's fine. Would you want to do a face-to-face? But I think depending on when you were looking at running an actual live one, it's all the health and safety implications that have to then be factored in. You know, the square footage per person, making sure that you've got all of that taken into account. So it's not just the footfall and the people that are going to be in the room, it's also the staff of the venue that also have to be taken into that calculation. Obviously all the PPE. So it does depend. And I think even into early next year, we're still going to have those things to have in place. But wherever you're looking to host it, we'll be able to be the lead on it as well, and support you in making sure that it's, you know, safe and it's doable. I mean, you know, meetings up to 30 people can still take place now, but you know, it's all done in a staged way. And I also think it's really difficult because you don't want the venue to look clinical. So there are ways that you can dress the venue to make it feel more appealing and less stark. And, you know, I think it's just about doing it the right way and the right thing for your event as well. So yeah, I don't know if that helps you.
Well, no, I mean, one of the other things that it's a nice thing to be slated for, but I get slated because my exhibition stands are too cheap. But I've always wanted to do the best I can for the ones who can least afford it. And that's why they've always been a low cost. Doing it virtually, I have no venue costs.
Yes.
So my prices can be lower. But then I guess venue higher costs are going to go up because they will want to try and make up the losses of this year. So it's really hard. It's a bit of a balancing act.
It is. Oh, Catherine.
Yeah, sorry to cut in there, Sheila, but I had, talking of costs and things like that, I had an interesting conversation with somebody at a networking meeting this morning for that very reason about saying because we're not having venue costs, we're dropping our costs down to try and pass on the savings to those who are interested in coming to our events. And this particular guy, he's an accountant, and he was saying that he was scheduled to go to, I don't know, Accountants R Us conference or whatever it was, at £600 a ticket for a weekend or a couple of days, hotel included. But of course, because of COVID, it was cancelled. So what the organisers did, they dropped the price right down to £99. And he said it put him completely right off, because he felt then he was not going to get the value for money that he was going to get at the higher price. And therefore, he would have preferred to have kept the price high, because for him, that would have given him more value for money, whereas the perception is it's dropped down to 99 and therefore he's not getting value for money. And as a result, he didn't go, which I thought was quite an interesting take on it.
See, you can't win, can you?
No, you can't. You can't. If it's free, it's still no, you know, if it's free, it's not good enough. If there's a price to it, it's too expensive. If you put the price up, then people don't want to go because it's too expensive. You put it down, then people don't see them, and you just can't win. Whatever you do, you can't win. You can't please them all.
I think you have to go with the majority, don't you?
Yes.
And
Yeah, I
send
think
lots
so.
of comms out to ascertain how people feel about it. I can see Tia's on here, but I don't know if she's about. Hi Tia. Hey Tia, you okay?
Yes, you.
Yes, I'm good. And you're obviously working venue side, so I just wanted to get your take on things in terms of how, from a venue perspective, things stand for early next year. I know it's a bit of a rock and a hard place question, but
yeah, I think since Boris cancelled his increase in numbers from 30, that was the light at the end of our tunnel for us. So we had larger events after the 1st of October. It was a light at the end of the tunnel. We were surviving until then because they were going to go up, and then since he then cancelled that and it's staying for 30 people up to 6 months, I think since then clients' confidence levels were growing, but since that announcement, we've noticed a huge drop. And instead of clients wanting to postpone, they're all cancelling now because they don't know then if that 6 months is going to be 9 months again, and then they're going to postpone again. They're going to postpone again.
What's your take on the hybrid scenario? So obviously Sheila's mentioned about hybrid options. So say if someone came to you and said, right, Tia, I want to do a hybrid expo. So part of it's virtual, part of it's in person. Could that be something that could be done sort of first quarter of next year, do you think, even with the restrictions in place at the minute? Or is it a tricky one?
Potentially, dependent on how many people are on site then for the live side of it. But I think because there's so many platforms and so many companies making it available fully online and fully virtual, I think there was a fashion for hybrid at the beginning, and we got loads of inquiries for it, when actually then when it materialized, not many converted and most went to just fully virtual. So I personally don't think there'll be many hybrid events early next year because they'll be holding out, and because they can do virtual.
I still think there's a need for both. I'm in Sheila's camp a little bit with this, because I think some people do want to physically be somewhere, and I think if there's a way of doing it, and if there's a way of doing it and managing obviously the venue costs versus, you know, the organizer costs, I think there's a happy balance to strike there. You know, John's saying, could a hybrid potentially cost more because you have two expenses to cover? I guess it depends if you've got the kit in house, doesn't it? Because I know in terms of tech capabilities, you guys have got quite a lot of great tech in your venues, haven't you?
We're quite lucky that we work with the university, so because we're owned by the university at Amargo, Loughborough University have all of the equipment we need, so we were able to switch to the hybrid and get the packages available for them pretty imminently. So yeah, there would then be the cost, I guess, of hiring the venue and then as well having the platform, and there could be that. It's just weighing up how much that then balances against how much they'd usually pay for 100 people's worth of food that would usually attend, and a larger room, whereas I guess they could get away with a smaller room. So I guess it might balance itself out actually if it's going to be at a smaller.
And I think it's important, I think, for all parties to work together on it, isn't it? I think that's ultimately what has to happen in order for those things to take place. But it's important, obviously, to make sure everyone's safe and those things.
We're trying to be super flexible with our terms and conditions, allowing people to book if they've got confidence. We want them to come to us. We're safe, we're COVID safe, we have all the procedures that need to be in place, and all the customers that have come to us have given us great feedback, and have not mentioned that they feel unsafe in any way. So we want people to come to us, and the more we shout about it, and we are holding events regularly for up to 30 at the minute, so we hope that more will happen early next year. And if things don't get worse, I guess if they don't drop the number from 30, then hopefully confidence will increase even more. But it's great that we've got the virtual option, and people, obviously being the event industry, event professionals, have really grabbed it by the horn and gone for it and really got teeth in kind of learning about it and doing it to its best. So it's great that we've got so many different options and platforms for the clients that want to
do that. Thanks Tia, thanks for that. Anything else from anyone else got any more questions or thoughts? I think that's it from everyone then. So I mean, as I say, please use the chat. Please feel free to connect with each other. My information's on there. Really thank you for taking part. I hope you found it useful. I didn't want to waffle on. I didn't want to do a death by PowerPoint. I wanted people to feel involved. So hopefully you have. And please feel free to still obviously connect with each other. You've got the Cuckoo Connect networking at 5, I know. And there's also another speaker at 4:15 now as well. So stick around, and I'll hopefully see you at the networking.
Okay, Jo, thank you very much. I just want to say thank you for doing this.
No, thank you.
It's been brilliant. So yeah, our next speaker is Michelle Zelli at 4 o'clock. Michelle is my business coach, and today has happened really because it's been something that we've worked towards as part of my coaching. Get yourself online, she said. You what I said?
Well,
she'll tell you all about that at 4 o'clock. Okay, thanks very much, everybody. Thanks, Jo. Bye-bye.
Bye.